Garry's Mod. That's probably a name every gamer has heard at least once. I have very fond memories of the game, and I'm sure my experience is pretty similar to a lot of others. Seeing my favorite YouTubers playing Garry's Mod, kindly asking my mom for $10, using a shitty laptop that was only ever intended to run Word files, downloading an absolutely unholy amount of mods, and using Halo Reach weapons on Combine soldiers at a whopping 20 FPS average. Wow. Anyways, Garry's Mod is now over 20 years old, and despite its age and its very dated graphics and gameplay, thousands of people still flock to play it daily, including me. So of course, I've spent a lot of time over the years questioning just why Garry's Mod is so insanely popular, and what sets it apart from the market today. But first, let me update you on a bit of Garry's Mod history. Garry's Mod was first conceived on December 24th, 2004 by Garry Newman, hence the name, as a mod in the source engine that allowed you to play around with the many Half-Life 2 assets that existed within it in a very basic map. The GUI and tools were very rudimentary, and by today's standards are actually pretty shitty, but even at the time it was a very impressive mod. I actually had a lot of trouble setting up some of the earlier versions, so I seriously can't imagine how much of a hassle it must have been when that was actually the only version. Over time, the mod picked up popularity, and the concept of being able to mess around with virtually any asset from a game you really enjoy in a sandbox setting was a pretty fresh idea at the time. Especially since most popular existing sandbox games from the 90s and early 2000s were games like Sid Meier's Civilization and Zoo Tycoon. And even then, those games aren't anywhere near on the same level of freedom that Garry's Mod gives you. Eventually, with the mod growing in popularity so rapidly, on November 29th, 2006, with the release of Garry's Mod 10, GMod officially became a standalone Steam release, created by Facepunch Studios and published officially by Valve. This is around when the first user-generated content for Garry's Mod started being created. With the eventual innovation of an actual spawn menu, anything a user made could be downloaded from a modding site, whether it be a vehicle, weapon, character model, or prop, put into the corresponding folder within the game's files, and spawned in with the in-game menu. One of the most commonly used sites for these add-ons back then was Game Banana. I actually spent a big chunk of time looking through random add-ons that are probably older than a lot of Gmod's player base today, and it's honestly kind of eerie to look through old forums and add-on pages that I'm probably the first person to view in well over a decade. If you ever have the time and just want to look at what is basically a time capsule of the early 2000s, I encourage you to look at Game Banana's Gmod mod selection. Seriously. On October 24th, 2012, arguably the most influential Gmod version in the game's entire history was released, Garry's Mod 13. The reason being is that just 2 months before its 8-year anniversary, Garry's Mod was finally given a Steam workshop. This meant that you no longer had to download add-ons from a random, potentially virus-infested website and manually load them into your game, and could simply click a button that would automatically save the add-ons to your Steam account and be mounted onto the game no matter what device you were logged into. So, now you know the importance of Gmod's early history. People found a sandbox mod for a very popular game, found the concept interesting, and started using the source engine to make their own custom content as well. If you ask me, this event is what jump-started people using Garry's Mod as more than just a fun Half-Life 2 sandbox. With the addition of the Steam Workshop, people's creations only piled up more and more. So much so, that even if you've never played Garry's Mod, you probably know about a few of its iconic creations. Prop Hunt is in a lot of different games today, but it originated from Gmod. Murder Mystery, popularized by Gmod. Death Run, Hide and Seek, Trouble in Terrorist Town, Dark RP. Just about all of these either originated from or were popularized by Gmod. Popular games today like Roblox and Fortnite have some of these game modes incorporated in some way. I'd also be a complete fool if I didn't mention just how massive Gmod's impact on pop culture is, with many references, jokes, and stories having a sort of internet cultural tie with the game. And, just as much as everybody above the age of 8 probably hates it, The younger generations are still exposed to Gmod through things like the Fuck Boom's Skibbity Toilet series. I'll let you decide if that's a good thing. Influence aside, Gmod also has a reputation for having a complete lack of moderation. Like, complete lack of moderation. While most games have restrictions on what you can modify in their game or upload to their Steam Workshop, Gmod has always been very hands-off, allowing users to pretty much add anything to the game for download. In fact, throughout Gmod's entire history, only one major add-on has ever actually been outright banned from the workshop by Garry himself. A YouTuber by the name of Ratlobber actually has a really good video talking about this add-on and the whole discourse surrounding its removal, and I recommend you check it out after this video. It's a really good watch. Anyways, this lack of moderation has led to some interesting add-ons being created. But regardless of your opinion on the Wild West nature of the game, it's undoubtedly led to a larger community being fostered. This especially stretches to different fandoms coming to Gmod as a hub for their fandom, since mod creators often rip and recreate assets from games, movies, and shows. The Paddy Wagon, in Gmod. Fallout weapons, in Gmod. Skyrim NPCs, in Gmod. Danny DeVito, in Gmod. Whatever this is, in Gmod. You get it. All in all, Garry's Mod has just always been part of the backbone of gaming. If you ask me, the element that keeps Gmod alive is its soul. Pretty much anything you can think about is likely in Gmod in some form. That sense of freedom, community, and endless fun is something I think a lot of games are missing nowadays. The fact that Garry's Mod was the first major game that decided to build a community around the idea of truly being able to do anything, especially with the gameplay to back it up, makes it, at least in my opinion, one of, if not the most impactful games in the industry's history. With games like Sandbox coming out with the intention of being a successor to Gmod, it really makes me wonder if people will ever move past it. To some degree, I hope they don't. Gmod is the golden child of creativity in gaming, and even to this day I'm still seeing the amazing mod creators out there uploading amazing stuff that I never even thought was possible onto the workshop. Like seriously, some guy uploaded a 1-to-1 scale of the entire universe. That's just insane. I don't think Garry's Mod is gonna die out anytime soon or be replaced by Sandbox by any means, and to be honest, I'm satisfied with that. Thanks for watching my ramble about this absolute fossil of a game. I rarely use this channel, but if I think of anything to ramble about, I'll probably make another video essay about it. See ya.